Light novel, the major source of our seasonal garbage isekai and harems. This is a series I'll be explaining why this is so, why light novels are rigged to be against innovating. This week, after seeing why both recruitment methods, the contest and web novels, are basically rigged against anyone who wants to write a long-term planned, unique story and promote same old overuse and shallow cliches, we'll be looking at what happens after the author is recruited as a professional. If you hadn't seen the previous two videos, I would recommend you to go to that first. Firstly, I think we should clear this up first. Professional authors are not official employees to their labels. They're freelancers paid on a by-project basis. This means, for contest winners, once they get their reward money, they're actually free to just walk away right then and there, and never write another book again. And considering the path to debut, this is actually more common than you'd think. Each light novel contest usually takes 6 months just to complete, and then you need a few more months of editing until your book can finally get to print and you can finally get paid for it. Then for web novels, it's purely up to luck when your story will be picked up by a publisher. So it could take a few months, but it can very well also take years until you get published. This means it's actually quite a gamble to fully commit to try and become a writer. Though, yeah, I suppose you could say that it's the same for all artistic careers in general, but what I want to say is, unless you're already financially secure, writing can't be more than a side gig. And worst part is, especially in the case of web novels, since your story can be lying around unnoticed for years, it is very possible for someone who has already debuted to come up with a similar idea as you, or maybe even outright copy your work, publish it first. Now, it doesn't matter if you actually wrote it years before, your story will henceforth be treated as a rip-off of someone else's work. And even for debut authors, sticking around can still be a hard bargain. This is a chart showing how many writers actually continue their career after debut. Below 46% is the industry standard. Even among the few who managed to debut, more than half will quit before 5 years. Even Dengeki Bunko, the largest light novel company, cannot keep 60% of its author to continue writing. This is partly because outside of Dengeki, unless you are the publisher's flagship title or a contest winner, most light novels will never get advertisements of any kind. Meaning, even as a professional, you still need to rely on luck and hope that people will pick up your book and be generous enough to give you the boost through word of mouth. But personally, I feel more that both the contest and web novel never prepared them for the marathon that is the actual professional career. Once you're a professional, suddenly you will have to face the hurdle that is deadlines, so since the writers were never selected for the ability to plan long term, this extra pressure can easily tempt them to take the easy route and just take the cliches. If your book sells poorly enough, there is a chance that your story could get axed. But considering how little manpower and time it takes to create a single volume of light novel, where the standard is around 3 to 4 months, but it is very much possible to release a new one in as short as 3 weeks. The writers and the publisher can still make good money just by making light novel on a quantity over quality mindset. It is near impossible for a light novel to be so bad it actually loses money. And in the event that their author decides to quit the company, regardless of whether their series get axed, or they are dissatisfied with anything else from that company, once they have managed to debut once, jumping ship to a different company now becomes significantly easier without having to go through the entire process all over again. What I'm trying to get at is, the writer and publishers are disposable to each other. Thus, there's even less incentive for both sides to push for a solid relationship to each other. The writer doesn't feel the need to write long and good series in order to stay in the company, and the company doesn't feel the need to encourage them to stay and do better, because either way, both are still making good money. The amount is puny compared to bestsellers, obviously, but it's still a win-win for both parties, so neither really care to put in the efforts. So in the end, light novel quality doesn't improve. And in a future episode, we'll discuss how this is actually extremely damaging to the anime industry. Please subscribe to see it next time, share this video to any friends who might also be interested. Thank you for watching and see you next time.